Hi everyone! Today we're looking at the Colouring Heaven Cutesy Christmas special. This features 40 festive designs from Mariola Budek, Jen Katz, Hannah Lynn, Ruth Sanderson, definitely can't pronounce that one, and Leringlas Art. So we've got a whole bunch of different artists with their own take on a Christmas style in this edition. It is a great edition. I've not had the chance to colour anything in it yet because I am overrun, to be honest, at the moment with work in progress pages, and yeah, I just didn't have time yet, but as soon as I colour one from it, I will definitely be posting to my Instagram. So let's have a look inside then. It tells us all about the different illustrators here as usual. We all know Mariola Budek, absolutely fantastic illustrator, possibly my favourite illustrator, but it's very, very difficult to narrow that down. And then the one that I couldn't pronounce, her name is actually Isabelle, and she's a Polish illustrator. Now I believe I've done one of her illustrations before. I'll put it up on the screen if I can find it. But yeah, again, another fantastically talented illustrator. We've then got Ruth Sanderson, who I'm sure I've heard the name of before, but it doesn't bring to mind any particular book. It says, though, that she's got more than 85 published books, so I'll have to go on a lookout for those. Then we've got Leringlas Art. It says that this is an illustrator called Elena who lives in St. Petersburg, Russia. She uses watercolour, pencils and digital art to create her illustrations. Then we've got Jen Katz and her doodle artwork. She's from Latvia. And then Hannah Lynn, who of course we all know and love. So a real plethora of different styles and, you know, art from all the way around the world. So let's get into it. This, of course, is a Mariola Budek illustration. As you can tell, it's always really lightly shaded, very, very cute, rounded, really sweet imagery. So you can see we've got the little girl here with her fluffy hat and mittens on, and she's outside with her dog, and we've got a couple of birds and a birdhouse there. It's a really beautiful image. It's actually called Bird Feeder, so we've got some titles on this one. This is Christmas Gift, so you can see we've got a teddy bear or a plushie inside the stocking, and he's holding a candy cane as well. Christmas time, we've got a cute little mouse, and you can see his ears poking up through the hat. It's really, really sweet, and he's actually sat in a mitten, so you can imagine, you know, the size of him. It's very, very small and cute, and he's holding a little bell. Then we've got Raffi, who is of course a reindeer, and what I love about this one is that his antlers are adorned with Christmas decorations, as you can see, just dripping with baubles, and I love it. Mariola Budek is just, yeah, love her. Santa Claus, so here's her take on Santa. You can see we've got the little squirrel next to him there. At least I think it's a squirrel. It's got a bit of a line up the tail. I don't know whether it's meant to be some other creature. You know what I'm like, I don't know what things are. But yeah, he's holding his sack. He's got his presents and his bell as well. That seems to be a recurring theme, the bell. Again, just really, really sweet and cute. Then we've got the snowman family. In the background, we have the snow-capped trees and the snowflakes falling down. And it looks as though he's going to be writing a list here. So maybe he's asking his little child what he wants for Christmas, and he's writing it in the book. I don't know. Then we've got Winter Sleep. So a couple of bears here. They're all snuggled up in their furry hats and scarves. Very, very sweet. Then we've got the next illustrator, which is Isabelle. And this is an advent calendar that you can colour one each day leading up to Christmas. So this is a really, really great idea for those of you who just want to colour a little bit of something every day. We've seen it with Johanna Basford's World of Flowers promotion when she was doing colour one flower every day. And there's quite a few of these different advent calendar pages around, but this is great. So a really small thumbnail that you can colour every single day and build up your advent calendar. We've then got Gingerbread Girls, so a really nice portrait for you to colour. As you can see, there's no shading or anything, so you'll have to put your skin tones, highlights and shadows in wherever you think they're suitable to go. So it's very much a blank canvas for you to experiment on. Really, really love, again, that the hair has all of those adornments, those Christmas things, pine cone berries. Loving the gingerbread cookie star earring that she's wearing, and the little ribbons on her cuffs, and of course the gingerbread house that she's just created. So this one also says advent calendar. As you can see, each bauble or trinket is numbered. So again, another one that you can come to every single day and do a little bit of colouring. I absolutely adore this idea. We've then got a few naughty little elves. So you can see that they are sat on what I believe is a Christmas box, I think. We can see that there's a tree here, so they must be underneath the tree where all the presents are. And it looks to me like they've opened the present and they're sat inside the box. It's quite difficult to work out this one. But yeah, you can see we've got some mistletoe taped to the inside, holding a lantern, and we've got these lovely starlights that are going all the way around, even at the top here as well. So you can see opportunity for light sources and creating these little glows around each light. Just trying to work it out still. I think they've just made a mess of the hole underneath of the Christmas tree. I think that's the general idea with this one. So we've moved on to Ruth Sanderson now, and this one's called Christmas Mice. So again, completely different style, very much more detailed and darker line work, more shading. So we've got what looks like a mouse here holding his candy canes and a little toy. He's got his bag of toys as well. So I think this is the mouse version of Santa Claus, and you can see the little mice children just peeping through the doorway there. There's a lot of depth in this image, a lot of different layers to it for you to build up, and yeah, love it. Rocking horse mice. So they've got two little cowboy mice sat on a rocking horse here. Just a really fun image. As you can see, the candy canes are intertwined to make up the frame of this one. We've got mice family. So we've got mum and dad, and how many kids do we have? We have 5 little mouse children. I'm actually loving the carpet with the little flowers on. It's really unusual. And as you can see, it's a bit of chaos on Christmas here. Dad's just dipping his candy cane into his hot chocolate. Mum's looking after the baby. We've got a child drumming. We've got one on his hobby horse, one playing the horn, and one stacking the blocks. Christmas tree mice. So it's Christmas Eve, or it's December the 1st, or whenever you decide to decorate your Christmas tree, and these 2 mice are doing exactly that. You can see they've got their little fir tree here, and they're putting all their decorative baubles on. Loving the tree skirt as well, lots of detail and pattern to colour there. Then we've got ice skating mice. What a fantastic opportunity to practice colouring ice as a texture. You know, trying to get that semi-transparent, translucent looking texture on there. That'll be interesting to try. I might have a go at that myself. So we've got a couple of mice doing some sledding and some skating. She's got her hand warmer here as well. And again, it's just those little details that you'll pick up on when you start to colour it, all the different things that are happening within the image. We've got cookie mice, so it's decorating the cookies here. This is generally what I do in the lead up to Christmas, the kind of week before. Me and the kids will decorate some cookies and do some salt dough decorations and things like that, or we used to anyway when they were little. They've grown up now, so they're a bit grown out of it. It's sad really, but I can do it on my own. So we've got the plate of cookies here and the decoration. She's squeezing the icing out. This little cheeky mouse is licking the icing off the spoon, but you know, don't we all? And here's the bowl of cookie dough in the background. So then we've got carol singing mice. We've got a big massive snow-capped tree as the background there with all the lights around it. This will look absolutely incredible if you decide to maybe do rainbow lights, so red, green, yellow, blue, you know, and do it in that pattern. I think that would look amazing. You don't necessarily have to do a light source or a glow or an emanation from each light if you don't want to. It could be, you know, it could be a kind of daytime scene with the lights still on. So don't worry about, you know, concerning yourself with light sources. Just colour it and have fun with it. That's the main thing. Nutcracker mice. So we've got a Christmas wreath in the background there with the pine cones and the berries again and the ribbon. Then we've got the Nutcracker here. And I'm not really sure what he's holding. It looks like a baton of some sort. Yeah, don't know. But he's on a plinth, and of course he's a mouse. They're all mice. Ruth Sanderson seems to love her mice. And yeah, it's just a nice illustration. Then we've got knitting mice. So you can see that we've got this woven rope type rug underneath. That's going to be a really interesting texture to colour as well. And you can see that she's knitting. She's got all her balls of wool in the basket. And here's her latest creation, a lovely warm snuggly hat. This is stocking mice. So it's Christmas Eve, they're putting their stockings up ready for Santa to fill. You can see they're doing it by candlelight. We've got some poinsettia in the background, candles and reindeers there on the fireplace as well. The background of this is like a stone fireplace, so again another texture you can have a crack at. It does have some light shading on it, so it wouldn't need a lot of figuring out how to shade it and things. It's already there for you. Then we've got horse and carriage mice. Now what a beautiful illustration. Another one that's got a lot of depth to it. You've got the foreground, the middle ground and the background, and it's one of those that really is an all-encompassing image. So it's almost like a snapshot on, you know, on this scene. So we've got the couple of mice sat really snugly with their blankets. They're in their horse and carriage. Obviously it's a snowy scene, so you could be using some really light blues, maybe even light pinks and purples, just to give a little bit of definition to these snow hills and make it look a little bit snowy in that way. It's difficult to colour snow, and you need to kind of use greys, blues, pinks, purples, just as little highlights on the top of the snow to create the impression that there is snow there, but it's very difficult to colour something that's pure white, obviously. Then we've got sleeping mice. Seems like we've got an awful lot of images from Ruth Sanderson. Is it just me? There seems to be loads. Sleeping mice, so you can see this whole cloud behind him is his dream, and this is what he's thinking about. So we've got Christmas trees and candy canes and chocolate and basically sweets. Anything you can eat really. Fish, acorns, lollipops. So he's having a wonderful dream there. Now we've moved on to another artist. This is Lorraine Leringlas Art, and as you can see, completely different style yet again. Very, very different in the fact that it is very, very fine line work and there's no shading here at all. So very, very fine, delicate lines and really crisp imagery here. So we've got the wreath of holly in the background, and then we've got this fairy. It says she's a Christmas flower girl. She hasn't got wings, so I guess she's not a fairy. But anyway, she's holding this scepter, this wand, and yeah, so completely different to what we've seen. Now, how do you pronounce this? I used to know. Is it Hygge? Yeah, I think it's a Danish word that basically means cozy and comfortable and warm and just nice and content. I think that's what it means. So this is the bear boy. You can see that he's all snuggled up in his jumper, his scarf, his boots. He's got the warm lantern there, and again in the background you have this wreath of festive flowers or festive berries and things. And I think this seems to be the theme for all of them, having this backdrop of a wreath. This is a fox boy, so he's got his cup of cocoa, again looking really snuggled and cozy, which is the meaning of this word, and we've got the berries in the background as well. Then we've got the fox girl, exactly the same thing, just a little bit more feminine. And the Christmas little fox, so big wide eyes. You can tell this is a little child, a little baby fox. What is a fox? A fox cub, isn't it? And then again you've got your wreath, which this time the fox is nestled into. It perfectly goes around the fox rather than it being, God, I'm so great at descriptions, aren't I? Rather than it being the fox is larger than the background, this one fits inside the wreath, so you can tell it's smaller. So we've moved on to Jen Katz now, and this is called A Christmas Carrot. We're only on image 29 of 40. It feels like there's been so many images, doesn't it, already? It's just jam-packed. I can imagine you colouring this for many Christmases to come. So, Christmas carrot. Now then, do we have to find the carrot? There's plenty on the tree, as you can see, and these little bunny rabbits are just hopping around, having the time of their lives, and in these little houses as well. So the house is actually, the roof is a Christmas tree, which is a really unique idea. We've got all the lights he had, this is called. So I'm guessing that this is that one house. Everybody's got that one house near them, haven't they? Whether it's on your street or in your town, that really goes to town decorating for Christmas. So you can see there's lights strung absolutely everywhere. Lanterns, decorations, and yeah, what a fantastic piece of architecture as well. I'd like to live in a house like that. Loving the slide coming from the front door as well. Little helpers. So let me figure this one out. So we've got, what is this? This looks like some sort of floating device here. We can see we've got some, I don't know whether these are lights or balloons, but This seems to be a propeller of some sort, so it's some sort of floating device, and we can see here it looks like this guy has come up out of his house probably. He's got, what has he got in his pockets? He's got pens in his pockets. Sometimes it's so hard to figure it out when you're looking at it for the first time, but it looks like he's giving gifts, or she's giving gifts to each house. I think that's what it is. So all of these creatures have a bucket full of gifts that they're dropping off to different houses by air. Yeah, figured it out in the end. Then we've got Sleigh Ride, which is the first landscape orientated one in this book. And as you can see, it's, again, I'm just loving the architecture that Jen has created because it's so different and so unique. This sleigh or sled is, it's kind of very weirdly shaped. It's almost circular, but not quite. And then you've got the sled underneath it there. But these seem to be birds or bird-shaped balloons that are, I don't know if they're pulling it or what's happening. It's quite difficult to work out, but it's definitely interesting. Looks as though this is a conductor. He's got his baton there and it looks as if he's reading music. And this one has a microphone. So Christmas carols in the sleigh. That's what I'm going for. We've then got Whimsy Girl skating. So we've moved on to Hannah Lynn and we're all familiar with her Whimsy Girl style. So again, another one to practice that ice texture and the snow-capped trees in the background. We've got Whimsy Girls Santa's cookies. So this is Christmas Eve. We've plated up the cookies. We've got the glass of milk. The cat's asleep on the rug and the stockings are in front of the fire. Little bit of a fire hazard, must say, Hannah. Putting them right in front of the flames like that. But anyway, Whimsy Girl drumming. So we've got, as you imagine from the rhyme, it's the drummer boy. And this is the drummer girl. So we've got a rabbit in the background. And yeah, this one's very much more of a zoomed in image, so you don't have a lot of background detail to colour. It's all about the girl. Then we've got Whimsy Girl Christmas Fairy. So this one is kind of opposite. We've got the entire thing to colour here and then just a very simple snowy background. But I say simple, the background is simple, but the clothes are really, really intricate. This is probably something that I would colour over, especially this corset bit here. I would just colour over in one colour and maybe just add a little bit of pen detail. Then we've got Whimsy Girl shopping, so it's that Christmas shop. I don't think any of us are going to be doing that this year. Very, very sad. The high streets are going to look a bit bleak, aren't they, this year? So you can see the big shop window in the background, the toys, the Christmas tree, and she's already loaded up with gifts. I'm really liking the coat as well. It's like a trench. And the hair is wonderful. She's got her earmuffs on to keep nice and warm, and of course her Christmas dangly drop earrings. Whimsy Girl hot chocolate. So again, you've just got a little girl. I think she's a fairy this time. I can see some wings. Looks as if she's doing the Salt Bay sprinkle with the chocolate bits or whatever it is she's putting on top of the hot chocolate there, but really cozy. I love that mug. I'm kind of obsessed with mugs, so yeah, I really want one of those mugs. Maybe Hannah can get one made just for me. Whimsy Girl Christmas sweater. So loads of detail to colour in this one. In the background you've got all the presents, the Christmas tree, and then obviously you've got the fantastic jumper. I think we've all got a embarrassing, or, well, it's not even embarrassing, is it really? It's not even a guilty pleasure, it's just a pleasure to have these really outlandish Christmas sweaters. Then finally we have Whimsy Girl Duck. So this one is set in the forest. As you can see, we've got the thicket of birch trees behind. There's a key here hanging down, not sure what that key is for. And then you can see the girl has her little pet duck. Best thing about this though is the costume for me. You can see it's got this really high neck with the lace and the embroidery, and then these big swags on her dress. Really, really nice. I really like the poinsettia underskirt as well. So that's it. I feel like that book went on for absolutely ever. So yeah, like I said earlier, this is probably a couple of Christmases at least worth of colouring for you to get through. Brilliant, brilliant edition. Colouring Heaven should be proud of this one for sure. It's really encapsulated a lot of different styles, and I'm feeling very, very Christmassy after going through it, which is exactly what we're looking for. So if you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you thought of this issue in the comments, and I will see you soon on Colour with Claire.